Should use that in the show.
I think you just did.
Welcome to episode 222 of the Renaissance, the number of the beast divided by 3.
Ooh,
A third of the number of the beast.
Is that an omen? Something? I don't know. Go ahead.
It is, because
Right.
I'm confident now in publicly proclaiming that this will be our last episode.
The climax.
Of the
No, go
First Crusade series.
Right. And what's a good climb? No, let me try that again. Yes.
It will go a little bit longer than one of your climaxes.
Right.
At least half an hour.
Yeah, but again, you're saying that like that's
Your
saying
wife
something.
wishes you could get a half an hour.
You know what?
Yeah.
She does. It takes a week and a half, but she gives her half an hour. So don't feel sorry for her. But you can't.
Week and a half.
Yeah. It's
a lot of 30 seconds. Like, how many times do you?
Look, let me let you in on a little secret. Okay, I'll let you in on three secrets. Okay. 1, female orgasm, myth. It's not true. Okay. All right. 2, there's no such thing as a penis more than 3 inches. So when I rocked up with 3.5 inches, she was amazed. All right. 3, if you do it the butt stuff, you're still
As tall as you are.
There was no reason for that. The point is she happy? No. Is she satisfied? No. But is she legally trapped in a marriage and a Catholic wedding? Absolutely. There is no, she's not going anywhere. Okay. She's not going anywhere. So don't feel sorry for her.
The reason you live in Virginia.
Right?
Yeah.
She's trapped.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we?
Yeah.
Oh, 222. Yeah.
222. The finale.
The final countdown.
Let's see if we can land the finale, unlike X-Files and too many shows.
Yeah.
I've chosen
Dexter.
not to remember.
Ooh, have you seen the new Dexter series, Resurrected? I haven't had the courage to
I gave up on Dexter.
No, I hear you.
I think at the end of the second last season of the original show, or maybe even the one before that, I was like, yeah, I'm tapping out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved that show for the first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Eventually I was like, I can't.
They
I
lost
can't go along. I can't be part of this anymore.
They lost the thread. Anyway.
Like several of my marriages.
But we're going to land it tonight, here and now. We're going to land this finale.
At the end of our last episode, Ray, I said after nearly 3 years of doing this show, the Crusaders had finally reached Jerusalem on the 7th of June, 1099. And coincidentally, we are recording this episode on the 18th of July. So it's close to the 7th of June. You know, it's like...
Is that... Well, okay, no, you're
should have timed it better.
You may be accidentally right. The siege is about to start in June, but when will it end? So hang on to your hats, boys and girls.
The 8th of June.
Damn it.
Sorry, spoiler.
Anyway,
it's hard to convey, I think, precisely how big a deal Jerusalem was for Christians in this period. Like, it's a big deal today.
Yes.
For Christians. But back then, I think it was a much bigger deal. It was the holiest place on earth to Christians, where Jesus had died, or what the Christians would have referred to as suffered his passion.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is confusing because passion is usually a good thing.
Right.
Right. To suffer your passion must be very confusing.
Kinky? No.
Kinky. Very kinky. Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing the thing I was destined to always do, but I'm suffering.
Right.
Why? Because I'm dying. But you're not really, because you're going to be back in a couple of days. You're immortal.
Yeah.
Well,
it's complicated.
It's just, don't get me started.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Within the walls of Jerusalem stood the Holy Sepulchre.
Right.
The church erected in the 4th century by the Emperor Constantine.
Oh, wow.
Which supposedly enclosed the sites of Golgotha, where Jesus was crucified.
Right.
And his tomb.
Okay.
So this one shrine encapsulated all of the highlights of Christianity. The
Right.
big, the
The
big,
big ones.
the highlights reel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The crucifixion, the redemption,
It had it all.
and the resurrection.
You could go there now and just take
Had
a
it all.
tour, like just like a street tour, like Harry Potter in Scotland, and you would just hit all the highlights. Love it. You'd love it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
In one place.
one
place where you get it.
One day.
And you can get a decent meal.
One day. Anyway, so it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Now, many of the Crusaders that had marched to Jerusalem genuinely believed
Mm-hmm.
that if the city could be recaptured, it would become some sort of Christian paradise. There were all of these prophecies about the imminent arrival of the last days of judgment
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if the Christians could take control back of Jerusalem, not dissimilar to the beliefs today of the Christian Zionists.
Right.
Now, we've talked about Christian Zionists before on our Cold War show
Mm-hmm.
during our series of on Israel, the creation of Israel. But just in case people haven't heard that, I want to talk a little bit about Christian Zionism because it gives you a sense of how batshit crazy people are today, but also how batshit crazy they were back in this day, and gives you a sense of, I think, where these crusaders were coming from, a lot of them.
Their headspace.
You know, I'm sure
Yeah.
the princes were probably a little bit more like modern day presidents, where they pretend that they believe in this shit, but really they're just after the loot
Right.
and the territory and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be making such a big deal out of fighting for power. But the masses were big believers that this was going to usher in the end of days, and they would all get, taken to heaven and blah-de-blah-de-blah.
Right.
But back to the Christian Zionists.
Mhm.
So Christian Zionists believe that Jesus will only return for the last days of judgment when the Jews are completely in control of Jerusalem and Israel,
Okay.
which you might think they already are, seeing that the Jews are in control of Israel.
Yes.
But it's not enough control, apparently. They need more control, all the control.
Right.
Got to wipe out all of the non-Jewish people from the lands of Israel,
Yes.
which is what's happening in Gaza and the West Bank increasingly.
Mm-hmm.
Many Christian Zionists believe that the third Jewish temple must be built on the Temple Mount, which currently houses the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. So it's politically or religiously, politically difficult to do that. So they need to get rid of the Arabs, get rid of any Arab interest in Jerusalem so they can tear everything down on the Temple of the Mount and build the third Jewish temple, rebuild it.
Right.
And then after the temple is rebuilt and all of the Jews around the world are back in Israel, the Antichrist will rise.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm glued. Keep going. Keep going.
Whether or not he talks like this, I can't say.
Who could say?
The Battle of Armageddon,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
will be fought in northern Israel, and Jesus will return. He's going to land in Jerusalem in his spaceship, and then comes the rapture, the millennial kingdom, the final judgment, all of this apocalyptic nonsense.
Right. Right.
But they also believe, and this is the kicker, that the Jews will then either have to convert to Christianity or will get killed by Jesus because they're non-believers in Jesus,
That's
who can only return when they do these things, and who is a Jew.
wow.
But then because the Jews don't recognize him as the Messiah,
They got to die.
although to be fair,
Right.
if he arrives in a spaceship
Y-
and, brings about, has a battle with the Antichrist and wins,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm converting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, if Jesus appears and does all this miraculous, I'm like, oh, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. I was wrong. I'm in.
I'm-
Okay, what's next, boss? What's the plan?
What do you need me to
Stan?
do? Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed it.
I'm not the guy that sees. I mean, okay, to be honest, there would be a good month where I'd be like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not buying this. What's going on? Special effects,
Right.
AI,
Exact-
something's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not.
But if it was legit.
I'm going to want to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to want to see pretty extraordinary amount of evidence to back it up.
Right.
Once I get that,
You're in.
I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fair call.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. Sign me up. What's my number?
Yeah. Yeah. But, this is, I think, what a lot of people don't understand about the US and Israel. And this is also Christian Zionism was a big part of the British support for the creation of Israel, or allowing Jewish immigration back to Palestine during the British Mandate.
Right.
Was because they also were Christian Zionists and believed that the Jews needed to be in control of Israel in order for Jesus and blah, 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 blah. But from the perspective of Christian Zionists, every bomb dropped in Gaza, every expansion of settlements in the West Bank is all part of God's plan.
Right.
This is all part of bringing about the end of times and the last days of judgment and Jesus' return, etc., etc., etc. And U.S. foreign policy, when it comes to the Middle East, why are you allowing Israel to bomb the fuck out of Syria this week and Iran a couple of weeks ago and Lebanon and blowing them up with pages and mobile phones and just getting away with everything scot-free, committing genocide in Gaza, giving them a blank check for all of that? It's because it's all part of God's plan. It's
Right.
what
I wouldn't do it if it wasn't.
God,
Yeah.
wants them to happen.
Because that'd be fucked up.
They want conflict in the Middle East.
Yes.
Because it
Yes.
speeds up the prophecy.
Yeah.
They're opposed to a two-state solution because dividing the land is against God's will. All of the noise and talk over decades, presidential summits at Camp David and all of this stuff about two-state solution,
Nope.
never going to happen because
Against God's will.
it's against God's will to divide the land. The Jews need to control all of Israel in order for Jesus to come back and kill all of the Jews
Right.
who don't convert.
Yeah. Can I ask, let's say for a second, and please no painful remarks from the audience. Let's say for a second I'm an alien, and when I land on your planet and you tell me everything you just told me, so I think my first reaction might be, so let me get this straight. So an all-powerful, all-knowing God who can do anything, has done whatever, creator of everything, needs a certain series of things to happen before he will come back, judge, kick ass, take names, and then it's paradise forever. Couldn't he just do that? I mean, does he have to have the third temple on the thing?
Well, he could.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. He
could.
He definitely
Okay,
could.
he could. Okay.
He could.
But he's
He
not.
just isn't.
Oh,
He just wants to know you're serious before he goes to the effort.
sounds like a dick.
Why should he go to the trouble of coming and
Right.
getting out of bed, doing his hair, putting on a robe, getting some sandals, fighting the fucking Antichrist, Armageddon?
That
blah,
is a
blah, blah.
lot.
He's got,
It is show me you want it.
That's a lot.
Show me you want it, kind of thing.
You gotta want it.
You gotta want
I gotta know that you want it. You know. I got other things I could be doing. What exactly?
None of your
It's
business.
for me to know and
Yeah.
for you to find out.
So
Yeah.
fuck off.
I got it's God level stuff you wouldn't understand.
I feel so much better now. I feel like I understand.
There are
I understand.
look,
Right.
there are Christians
Yeah.
who have lost their car keys or can't get a car park. Somebody needs to
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
help them out with that kind of stuff. It's a full-time gig,
Yeah.
being God, I got to tell you.
It's a lot of requests. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
By the way, most Israeli Jews
Right.
are secular or
Ooh.
culturally Jewish. They're not, religious fanatics.
Right.
Many are highly skeptical or even disdainful of Christian Zionists. They all think they're crazy.
Right.
But they'll accept the money
Oh.
and the lobbying and the missiles and
Absolutely.
the air support.
Yeah. It's good.
But they know that they're being used as theological cannon fodder in someone else's messianic
Yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah.
But imagine being told, I love you and I'll do anything for you because your mass death and conversion is the key to my salvation.
Thank you.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Is there another way? Go ahead.
If you want to, if people listening want to check out some of the particular crazies in the US, check out Pastor John Hagee or Hagee, Hagee. He's the founder of PUFI, Christians United for Israel, the largest Christian Zionist organization in the US.
Right.
Have you ever come across these guys?
No.
Oh, they're gold,
They're
Ray.
gold.
Gold. Oh, so much entertainment I get out of reading these guys. They've got over 10 million members.
Damn. Maybe we should. Sorry.
Based in San Antonio, Texas.
Right.
Been going since 1975.
It's good work if you can get it. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're basically, as I said, they believe that all of this has to happen in order for Jesus to come back, etc., etc., etc.
Let's get going on
John.
it. Yeah.
John Hagee is fabulously entertaining guy. He was a guy that in 2006 claimed that Hurricane Katrina was God's punishment for a planned pride parade.
Right.
That was going to happen.
A little heavy-handed.
I remember
Sorry. Go ahead.
he said Hitler was the spiritual leader of the Catholic Church. He said that Adolf Hitler was born from a lineage of accursed, genocidally murderous half-breed Jews. He claimed that the Antichrist will be a homosexual and partially Jewish, as was Adolf Hitler. And
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. He also wrote a book in 2013 where he made the blood moon prophecy. You ever heard of that?
Is anything to do with werewolves?
Claimed.
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
He claimed that a lunar eclipse in 2014 was the sign of the end of times.
How did that work out?
And that the world would end in 2015.
So this must be hell.
Well, it did. The world,
right. Go.
The world ended. You just didn't get the memo. Yeah.
I'm in hell.
Anyway.
Yeah.
John Hagee. Check him out.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Take him to a party.
So, where was I? Oh, also guys like Mike Pompeo, Michelle Bachmann, Pastor Robert Jeffress, who's another megachurch pastor, Trump ally, Fox News regular.
Right. Zionist.
He delivered the opening prayer at the Jerusalem embassy inauguration, says Jews who don't accept Jesus are still headed for hell, but God still wants America to protect Israel. That's not fringe. This isn't a fringe movement. This is basically
right
Republican foreign policy, and to a large extent, Democrat foreign policy as well.
Right.
Supporting Israel isn't just diplomacy. It's biblical obedience to God for millions and millions of Americans.
Yeah, it's baked into America. Yeah. Go ahead.
So anyway, Jerusalem, at the time of the First Crusade, 3,000 years of history, and it was entwined with Judaism and Islam as well as Christianity, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The Temple Mount, or Haram al-Sharif, as the Muslims called it, had the Dome of the Rock then, the Ask Mosque, adjacent to the Wailing Wall. For the Muslims, this is where Muhammad made his ascent into heaven, made it the third holiest site in the Islamic world. For the Israelites, it's where Abraham offered to sacrifice his son. The two temples were built.
Wow.
So it was incredibly important to all three of the Abrahamic religions.
Right.
And it was also one of the greatest fortresses in the medieval world.
Absolutely. Because I think we have talked about some of the previous occupiers, if that's the right word. I mean, this city, these walls have been rebuilt over the centuries by the Byzantines, the Umayyads, the Fatimids now. And of course, when you rebuild, you add, you make it better, you make it stronger, you bring in the latest technology or whatever. So, and again, the walls were laying out when Hadrian rebuilt the city in 129 to 130. But again, this is, I mean, Antioch was impressive enough where it could not have been taken without intrigue. This is kind of along the same lines. We're going to see what happens. Oh, and just by the way, just for a fun fact, when Hadrian did rebuild the city in 129 to 130, that did trigger the Bar Kokhba revolt of 132 to 135. So, like you were saying a second ago, because there's so many different cultures who have a vested interest in history in the city, when one comes to dominate it, it's just going to piss off everybody else. So again, this is in a lot of ways, besides a religious ground zero for people, it's also a powder keg that's just going to set everybody else off. And again, but now it's the Crusaders' turn. They're going to try to do, I guess, what a lot of people have failed to do. They're going to try to take it in the name of Christ.
The defense of the city was in the hands of the Fatimid governor of Palestine, Iftikhar ad-Dawla.
I like that.
And he had done the best that he could in a short amount of time to prepare for this. The walls were in pretty good condition. He had a pretty good garrison of Arab and Sudanese troops. And on news that the Crusaders were approaching, he took some pretty sensible precautions. He blocked or poisoned the wells outside of the city to prevent them getting access to water. He took all of the flocks and herds from the pastures around the city and drove them inside the walls so there wasn't food to be easily had. Plus, it provides more food for the inhabitants of the city.
Right.
He ordered all of the Christian population out of the city.
Good call.
But allowed the Jews to remain.
Right.
This was a pretty good move. In the 10th century, Christians would have outnumbered Muslims in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And the ones that hadn't already left or been killed probably were forbidden to carry arms, so they weren't going to be very useful to defend the place. But as we've seen in previous sieges, they also are likely to betray the Muslims if the Christians on the outside can make contact with them.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to open a window, open a door, etc.
Leave something unlocked. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, kicking them out meant there were less mouths to feed.
Yes. Yeah.
So he gets rid of all of the Christians.
Smart move.
And then he sends to Egypt for urgent assistance.
Yes. Urgent being a relative term. I mean, everybody's traveling as fast as a horse can go in, an arid land, but still, the clock is now ticking. He sent word. They're going to get it at some point. So, I mean, even though it's summer, even though it's hot as hell, the Crusaders know they've got to figure out that word has been sent and the clock is ticking. Whatever they're going to do, they're going to have to do it as quickly as they can.
So, the Crusaders didn't really have enough troops to completely surround the city.
Right.
And they couldn't anyway due to the lie of the land. Like there was mountains, there were cliffs,
valleys.
Some of the walls were up against the cliffs.
Yes.
Yeah. But they covered as many of the gates as possible. And they started the siege on the very day they arrived, the 7th of June.
Right. We don't need a break. I don't need to sip some water. I'm here for God. Let's just go in and kill in the name of God. And for the rest of this episode, it would just really help you, dear listeners. Just imagine a scene, one of the many from Lord of the Rings, where a castle is being laid siege to, and there's walls and there's towers. That's really going to give you a lot of visual help as we get through the rest of this episode.
Well, I think, the large issue here is they know that there might be reinforcements coming up from Egypt. They also know that they probably can't hold out very long in a siege.
Right.
They don't have access to water. They don't have access to food. They don't have access to ships.
Yeah.
Because of the Fatimid Navy.
Right.
So they got to get this shit done. They got to get it over with.
Right. Chop, chop.
And they knew that the Muslims inside of Jerusalem were well supplied with food and water, could probably hold out longer. Their armaments were better than the Crusaders.
Yeah.
They hadn't been marching for 3 years and going through starvation and having, all of those sorts of disease and issues and all that kind of stuff. They're healthy.
Yes.
They're fit. They're fine.
Right.
They're fat. They're happy. The governor had also strengthened the towers with sacks of cotton and hay inside the walls,
right,
to withstand the bombardment from the mangonels that the Crusaders had.
Smart.
Remember, these walls had sections. You had a wall and then an air gap and then another wall, then an air gap, then another wall. So they were stuffing hay down the gaps.
Absorb the shock? Is that?
Yeah, a big stone comes and it shatters the outer wall.
Right.
Those bricks and stones don't go through and break the second wall and the third wall.
Smart.
Hopefully they get stopped, right?
Right, that's smart.
So the siege is on, and despite having a fairly large garrison inside of Jerusalem, Al-Dawla can't man all of the walls either, can't protect all the walls.
Right.
So they're both in a situation where they don't have enough men, and the Crusaders are running out of food and water. Their only source of pure water that they could find was located below the south walls, where they would be exposed to missiles from the city. So they had to travel 6 or more miles in order to get water supplies. And every time they went and did that, they'd get ambushed.
Yes.
From the garrisons would sneak out, kill them as they were out trying to get water, look for food. So, because food was short as well. There's other things going on, like it's hot, there's no shade, it's dusty. It's just a nightmare.
Right.
For the Crusaders, pitched outside of this thing, no food, no water, heat, dust, no shade.
Right. And
it's tough going. You want to get it over with as quickly as possible, like
absolutely
you say to your wife.
ASAP. Yeah. Look, you don't want to be here.
This over with.
You don't want to be here.
I don't want to be.
I don't want to be. So let's just wrap this. No, and see, one of the things that they realized was that what is not in a Crusader's kit is an umbrella. Something for the heat, just to put something. God, put something between you and that sun, because it's hot as fuck. It's a dry heat. Don't get me wrong, but it's still pretty hot. What they need is a sign from God. What they need is a little faith. What they needed was George Michael up in the clouds. Faith. Whatever. But they didn't get that. So on the 12th of June, they go to the Mount of Olives and they hold, I don't know what you want to call it, a meeting, a seance, a powwow, whatever. It's time to think of something, because clearly banging our heads against the stone walls ain't cutting it. We need some inspiration.
As a good Catholic boy, Ray, tell everyone about the place of olives.
That's where the first olives.
The Mount of Olives.
Yeah, well, there were so many. Oh my God, there were so many olives. It was like a mount. It was like a mountain, and they used to play King of the Hill. But that's all I learned in Sunday school. I'm not sure if there's any more to that story. Do you have anything more? I don't know. Is it something?
Wow. You really were not paying attention.
Look, you're
at all.
disappointed. The listeners are disappointed. Heather's still disappointed from last week. Let's just cut through this part. We all know, and then you tell us. Okay, that's how the show works.